welcome to this week's video. We've had a very busy week again this week. We've had some fibre Wi-Fi fitted, which obviously has improved the speed, and hopefully from now we'll be able to improve the video quality a little bit. We've also been doing quite a lot of work in the kitchen, so hopefully the girls will now do me a bit more baking and what have you, because they like cooking and I like eating, so that's a big up. But one of the other things we've been doing is doing a lot of running about this week. There's a lot of paperwork we've had to sort out. We're trying to get some documents for a pre-51 to see whether we are a pre-51 building, but also because we'd like the plans of the house as well.
So we've just had a visit to the architects. We're trying to find out the age of our property, whether it's pre-51 or not, and that's the end building over there. They've sent us down to the courthouse, but we just thought we'd have a look at the grounds around here. Very pretty.
Lovely lights.
Some nice old buildings. And some massive palm trees. Big lovely building there, but I'll just go back a bit. So this is the lovely building in the centre of Fundao. Don't quite know what it is. They seem to have some planning apartments and things in here. As I say, we got sent down to the Justice Department. I'll get the proper name for that in a bit, just to get some more documents. And we've got an appointment now with the people who do the ground plans.
So we called again to Fundao to get the plans for the house. When we got there, it was the office where they did the rural plans, so we couldn't actually get a plan of the house. It was only an outline plan of all the land, which was still helpful. The chap behind the desk was very helpful as well. Mostly English, a little bit broken, but yeah, he was a great help. We tried our best to speak a bit of Portuguese to him as well. And there was no charge for actually getting the plan. So yeah, we now have to go back to the architects with all the documents that we've got so far, and some photos of the property, and hopefully they'll then be able to tell us a little bit more, or maybe even have some plans of the property.
So we bought this hanging rack last time I was in Castelo, just to put up in the what's going to be our bedroom. I'm getting a bit fed up of having all the clothes creased in drawers. So let's see how we get on with this. It's got a 5-year guarantee, which has surprised me. It's from Leroy Merlin. And there's some wheels and some tools to pop it together. So I'm just going to get started on that while Steve's painting the kitchen. So I wasn't able to get this frame together. It was really tight, so I've had to call in Steve.
And to be fair, it was really tight. I've struggled to push these points in down at the bottom. I had to press the pegs in and wiggle them down, and they're very, very tight on these. Getting them deep enough for these to pop back out, because obviously they're pushing and that's what holds them, locks them in place. But they were really, really tight.
So I'm just going to put the wheels on now. Why it wants wheels, I don't know, but we'll do them. Let's just have a look at the... Yeah, I'll do them that way around and then the bolts will recess. Nuts will recess, will stick out. So we've got a washer.
What are you doing, Steve?
So we've got a bolt, a washer and a sleeve, goes through the wheel. I presume the sleeve stays in the wheel like that, and then it just goes through and has a nut on the other side, nut and a washer on the other side. They supply you with an Allen key for the bolt and a little spanner. Yeah, I don't want anything bigger than that because I don't want to over tighten it and crush the pipe.
I'm quite surprised at how sturdy it is, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad at all really. It does have a little bit of twist on it, but there's no reason for you to be twisting it anyway too.
Yeah, but some of them that I looked at were plastic.
Yeah, they were terrible. The spanner's not very good, but it'll work.
I might be able to go out without wearing creased clothes. Ellie Rosie's birthday tomorrow, so we'll be going out again tomorrow. She's chose to go to Cabra Preta in Castelo Branco. Is that one the same, Steve? Yep.
No, not quite.
Oh.
They've made them the same, so they've pressed the metal in.
Yeah.
On the outside of this one, but the inside of that one. It shouldn't make any difference. It's just the bolt, the wheels have enough spacer on it, but yeah, it's just. You'd have thought there'd have been a left hand and a right hand one, but yeah, it don't make any difference to its usage. So, I'm just complaining for nothing.
Alfie's enjoying a nap in front of the fire. He's been out in the sun today.
Even though the fire's not lit.
Even though the fire's not lit, bless him. He's getting a bit senile. Dottie's curled up in the blanket on the sofa.
I've just finished painting. For now. That's why I'm doing this. I want my paint to dry. I want another coat on it at least. I was hoping to get it done today, but I don't know whether I will. It's the kitchen we're doing. It's quite big. I'm doing it in sections just because we're moving bits round. We haven't got room to enter the whole kitchen, so yeah, I'm moving bits from one end to the other and painting bits.
I'll just show you that now while Steve's putting that last wheel on. Just going to pop a light on. So he's done the top of the kitchen, the back of the kitchen should I say. He still needs to finish the loft hatch there, and I need to find a light fitting. Whoops, keeps coming in and out of focus, sorry about that. And a bit difficult to see, but he's been painting along that side. All these pipes will end up under worktop height. Ellie Rose is sieving through the ashes, which I did the other day, but there's still quite a lot of metal in it, so she's doing that. And then as she gets a barrow full of ashes. She's putting them round the trees. We've been told it's very good for the trees. So that's her job for this afternoon. Well, Steve's just finishing off the painting in the kitchen.
Hopefully, I might even need to give it another coat.
Before we can start to build the units that we bought last week.
We still will have the other half of the kitchen to do, the other side of the kitchen.
Yeah.
We're just trying to move things around and do it in bits, but yeah, it's making it a bit awkward, but yeah, we'll get there. Not too bad to do, but around these ways gets a bit of a pain. But, yeah, waiting. This is only really while we can get sorted and get around to tiling it. That's going to be the main thing we're going to do when we get going. All the kitchen's going to be tiled. We need to stop the water leaks and what have you from the roof first. Yeah.
And there's possibly some damp coming in through the wall as well, so short soon we're hoping to get somebody in, or do it ourselves, not sure, digging out down the side because the ground is higher in the side garden than it is inside the kitchen. So it's just a quick freshen up and tidy up for now, is this paint job.
Yeah, fill that in later as well. I'm going to do it now. It wants rendering. Should have done that while I had some sun next. So this afternoon we've got most of the kitchen painted out now. Debbie wants a couple of cupboards putting up, so, and of course she chose the best ones first, the ones with all the drawers in it. The instructions are pretty good, but they're all pictures. These words in Portuguese, but I don't understand them all, but I've built cupboards before, so I'm sure I'll get somewhere near. That's more or less the carcass of the first cupboard built up. These some little wedges that hold the backboard in, I'm just going to put them in. It does go into slots, but they give you these wedges, they fit like this, halfway up and down at the bottom to hold the board in more secure. It's unusual. Don't normally get that on British ones, what I've seen. Just screw them in, and then I've got the drawers and the feet to build up and put on. They're just wedging at an angle like that, just to hold the backboard in a little bit stiffer. Just stops it flexing so much. You get 4 of those, 1 for each side and 2 for the bottom. can't see that one because it's
underneath.
underneath. The two loose brackets you see there are for the two brackets there are for fastening it to the wall. There's one there and one at the other side. I've just left them down at the moment because we're not going to fasten it to the wall yet. That'll come at a later date when it goes into Ellie Rose's.
Yeah, these are actually Ellie Rose's cupboards that we're going to be using temporary until we get our kitchen sorted out properly. Are these the feet?
This is part of the feet. This is what the feet mount to. So you put those in.
Yeah.
They've got spreaders on there. So when you push the feet in, that'll also spread that wider. The feet go in from that side. And that'll spread that open and hold it tighter. But it also has 5 screws around it anyway. So it will be a secure fit. Put the screws in there and then I'll put the other two on because they do just come to the edge of the cupboard, so it just makes it a little bit awkward knocking them in from the other side.
Still just putting the last drawer together now.
It's the only one with the front on it so far, love.
All right, okay. That's the unit built up, the two top drawers in, but with no fronts on yet. So Steve's just putting one of the 450 cupboards together now.
Quite easy to do really, once you've got the drawings figured out, which I did yesterday on the drawers. These are just for fastening to the wall. We're not fastening it to the wall as I said yesterday, so I'm just going to put them on, but just leave them turned down out the way till we're ready to fix it to the wall, which will be when it goes into Ellie Rose's. Basically it's just dowels across the bottom and the connectors. There's a back panel and there's a floor panel which has some holes in it that's going to get the feet and some little turnbuckles for holding the
Shelves?
panel to the side panels.
All right.
So this is the bottom panel. We need to know which way that goes and where it goes roughly. There's a lot of holes in this one. These just push into the holes. Doubt if I had it the right way around by the look of that, because that's not right. Yeah, it does that. Start that one. So that will be in the wrong hole.
different. Yeah, I put this one in one of the places where the feet should go. So I've got all the clips in, and then this panel just sits down onto them, onto the pins what I put in earlier. And then they get half a turn, which locks them in place. So they just turn and pull themselves down. Oop, that one just needed to turn to get it into the right position. This one probably will as well. Even glasses, because I can't see whether I'm pointing up or not. So these clips actually have a little arrow where they point up. You can see it just here, if I'm focused, just here. So they all want to be pointing up before you put the panels on, and then they twist to lock. So the instructions actually tell you to put the two side panels onto the bottom panel before you put the back panel in. The trouble with that is the side panels then have no support to hold the panel up, and it could just tip over and break the holes. So I've put this back panel in and then just flip it onto it, flip the other panel onto it, line the holes up. The only problem you may get doing that is the back panel doesn't go into the groove. But it's easy enough just to follow down on the inside and outside and just make sure it's in the groove before you lock the panels at the bottom. And then the turnbuckles just lock in as I did with the other ones. Then without any support, if you hadn't put the backboard in, it just flex like that, so you couldn't make it fall over. The top just has two steel rods, one at the front, one at the back, to hold the two side panels apart. I'm going to put in a second.
Does that brace it then? Yeah.
Yeah, that just braces this to that one.
Yeah.
So between there.
Yeah.
And also braces on the board at the back.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is just stand it on its end. So that's the right way up. And check that the board's in the grooves at the back. I'm just sorting the screws out to put the bar in. So the bar just goes in with some grub screw types into a big hole what's already there. There's a little cutout just there what holds your board in place as well. Screwdriver under my feet.
By the way, Steve has fitted a kitchen on average once every 3 years for the last 30 years. So he's getting a bit of a dab hand at it now.
Yeah, they changed the cabinets a little bit, and sometimes they're a little bit more awkward just to figure out what they've done. The pictures aren't always very good, but the drawers were a bit of an issue yesterday, just because the
don't have positions where to put the drawers in.
On the pictures?
On the pictures, they only give you a sort of clue as to where the drawers fit into the holes in the side, where the drawer runners fit into the side of the cupboards. And it gives you a choice of A, B or C drawer, but then doesn't differentiate between which is A, B and C. And it all goes on the size and depth of the drawer. So these are just braced. Just going into the holes near the front. The back one's already braced. Don't be too high, it must be the other hole. Put them in looser at the moment so I can see where the holes are, and then I'll turn it up right and just makes it a bit easier starting the screws in the holes. Let's see what I'm doing. Then I can just turn it around before I nip it. And that gives you your side brace.
Hang on, go on.
So the leg mountings have a bracket like this, what goes onto the cupboard. They've got 5 screw holes in it. The only thing is they don't supply you any screws for these. But I do have a pack of my own, but I haven't got enough at the moment to put 5 in each. So these just knock in once you get them lined up, and they just knock all the way down, and then the pin on the end of here actually spreads this when you knock that into there. I'm just going to put a couple of screws in there first. Putting one in the top hole, which actually mounts to the side cupboard, so that's the end down. It'll take a lot of weight like that. Oops, don't want that one, that's long. Obviously, if you're using your own screws on these, make sure they're not too long. I'll tell you what I'm using in a second. Once I get this one started, obviously because there's no holes, they're a little bit of a push to get them started. So I'm using some screws I brought from England. That's what they are, 6 times 5/8 Quicksilver screws. Yeah, they're pretty good screws. Be able to get the same in Portugal, I'm sure. Which way down? There you go. Yeah, there you go, that way. So I've just got the hinges. They've already put the screws through the pegs, but I need to take those out, push those into the door, because the hinges itself actually goes on the door. And these things only go one way round when you get the hinges, so you need to make sure that you're putting them the right way So the hinge hooks into that and then just clips on when it's ready. So because of that, sorry, that's the way the door goes, and then the door will shut too. So they go that way around onto the cupboard.
Okay.
And we've just got to decide what height they go. The only way to find that out is to get the door and see where these line up to. So I've just unwrapped the door. As you can see, the holes are already here for the door. If you were putting a opener from that side, you just turn it upside down. So it's just a matter of lining it up and seeing where the hinges fit. Easiest way is just to rest it on your foot or something, level it with the door, and it's going to go into those two, which is the second and third one down, and second and third one at the bottom as well. So I'm just starting these. When you get so far in, you're able to move the hinge up and down, so we can make adjustments there, but I'm just going to nip them up at the moment, and then we'll sort out where it's going to sit later when we make the door adjustments. And the hinges will fit on there and onto the door. As I said, the hinges have spreaders which go onto the door, but they've already nipped those up. Yeah, it's a bad idea really, because I don't just want to knock them in there, I want to open them and screw them in. Why have they done that? So these hinges have the plastic bits fitted. I thought I was going to have to take them off, and I've just seen that on the actual screw hole, or near the screw hole, there's a place what says lock. So they just push into place. I haven't come across these before. They just push into place and screw till the lock. Obviously that spreads the plug out, what's on the screw. So, and then the hinges just hook in. So we're just having a quick figure of the spacings. This kitchen's actually going to be for Ellie Rose. I've got another cupboard like that one to make. This is going to be the space for the gas bottle, which feeds the range cooker, which we're going to get out shortly, because the top's gas, the bottom's electric. We do have electric feed already down the back of this cupboard, so we'll run gas and electric this way to the cooker. Ellie Rose's is going to stand in that corner as a temporary, and we're going to build another cupboard up, put it over there, and then just a worktop over the top. It will have gaps in between it, because as I say, this is just temporary for now, and a worktop on the top, and then we can slot things into the gaps what we need to. So I'm just going to build another one of these cupboards up. It's exactly the same as the last cupboard I did, so I ain't going to film you a lot of that. One thing I did forget to mention is obviously when you get all the bits out, just make sure you've got everything before you start building it up. You know, halfway through a cupboard and you've got no side panel or something like that. It's, yeah, it then causes a bit of a problem changing things. But Yeah, it hasn't happened to me yet. Odd screws and things like that missing, but never a big panel. So that's all good so far. And the other thing I didn't mention as well is when you get your panels out, if you put them down so that they're mirrored, it's easier to see where all your holes are and markings. I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. So what I generally do is just lay the panels down like that. So I've got both backs together. So obviously, front of the cupboard, the front of the cupboard there, when they're stood up, they're the two sides. Just makes it easier for looking at your holes, you know, when you're putting things together, I think.
So we're just in the process of unwrapping the range cooker.
I'm feeling the instructions are inside the oven. And maybe the feet as well.
Yeah.
I'll shut that one in the door. So we've got the instructions and the feet. I don't quite know how we're going to put them on. Probably as it is and just lean it backwards.
How did you do it last time with the other one in the UK?
I
Because we
put
had
it
a
in
very
place.
similar one, didn't we?
I put it in place and blocked it up. Stood it on some blocks at one side, put 2 feet on, slid the blocks across to the other side, put the other feet on, and then screwed them up so that the blocks were high enough, that the feet were high enough to lift it off the blocks. I ain't got no blocks. Yeah, let's see what they recommend. They're the screws for the back plate.
Figuring out what he's doing still. Do we not have any blocks from, like, what do they call them? What I'm pointing at there.
Pallets?
Pallets, that's it.
No, I don't.
Oh, right.
Just let me see what we've got. Let's see how they interpret fitting them, and then we'll go from there.
So we've got the chrome feet. What are these for?
Don't know yet. They
Okay.
look like gas connectors. Because it's a gas hob.
Yeah.
Yep, not sure about them either. We'll have to destruct these in a second.
All will be revealed.
Instructions for installation, that might be handy. That from in English. Looks like Italian actually.
It is, it's an Italian cooker. It's, I forgot what make it is now, but it's the same as Bertazzoni. It's made by Bertazzoni. Fancy not being able to remember. Le Germania, I believe.
A bit of foot out because I think them 4 bolts what I found actually go into the feet first. Those. I think they might do that, and then you hook them in
Okay.
and then screw the feet up to meet. Although I don't see what's going to stop them turning. Right, anyway, not going to get too hooked up on that until I find out what's what. This wasn't a today's job.
But as usual, Debbie can't wait for nothing.
Exactly. There's stabiliser brackets for the back, which we won't be fastening up at the moment, so you'll have to be careful. Right, let's see what it suggests. So no sooner have we got the worktop on that Debbie's filled it. Didn't take her long.
So that's it for this week. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell for future videos. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Portugal Dreams for more updates. And if you'd like to support us, you can buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com. It's in the link down below. Thank you very much.